Good afternoon, good day, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. I'm so delighted tonight that we've actually managed to make it to get online. My sister knows how much it's been of a trouble and a battle, but we thank God because it might be that we are facing each other. Maybe I'm on top of Abby and Abby is the other way around, but it doesn't matter as long as we are online. And I'm actually doing this from my phone, so it might kind of look a bit weird, but at the end of the day, what matters is that we are here. So if you're new, if this is the first time to see us or to come over here, we are glad you could find us. I know some people might have given up and decided to go away, but don't worry, we're still here and we are here to reach you to the best of our knowledge and to the best of our how we can be able to serve you better. It's a great privilege today, and it's a great honor for me to get to do this together with my dear friend and my dear sister, Abby. Abby is not new to us. She's really kind of one of those people that she's at home when she's here, and I'm home when she's here, basically because we have done life together for a very long. Stability issues of the internet, but don't worry, we'll get there. I know beyond doubt, Abby carries quite a great heart with her, and it would be such a nice and awesome thing for us to be able to hear from her today. So, for those who are new here, you will know, or you might not be knowing, we are on a challenge. We are doing 30 days of intermittent fasting challenge, and it's been a great pleasure because Abby, myself, and a couple of others I know who are on the call today have been doing this together. And today we're just getting on to basically talk a few things so that we continue to make you guys informed and to encourage you guys as you go along. But before I hand over to Abby in a minute, I was just thinking today, I've been saying like we in this season, I've been drinking more water, been doing more reading, I've been doing still my exercise. And I was just thinking about something yesterday that happened to me. So usually my son wakes up in the morning and he finds where I am. So I was in the kitchen. He comes to me and says, "Good morning, mommy." I say, "Good morning, Judah." And he says to me, I say to him, "So what did you dream about?" He says to me, he dreamed about unicorns and marshmallows, and they were really, really yummy. And we started having this story about marshmallows. I was like, not in the morning when I'm talking about intermittent fasting, that you're bringing marshmallows as a conversation. So some of you might just be dreaming about, I don't know what your dreams are about, whether they are marshmallows or whether they are a bag of frozen fruits or a bag of chips or McDonald's, whatever it is. The most important thing is always encourage yourself, no matter what, to be the one who is in charge and who is in control of your appetite rather than your appetite being in control. So I'll stop there and hand over today to my dear sister and friend, Abby. Abby, good afternoon.
Actually, it's good evening here in Kenya.
I know. Good
Yeah,
evening, Abby.
but good afternoon to you. So
Yeah.
I'm just delighted to be here. Don't worry about the challenges. These things happen, but any good cause has challenges. So, but I'm glad
Mhm.
that we have made it now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Abby, for those people who will be hearing about you for the very first time, I know those people who've been on this channel a few times will not be, you not be new to them. But for those who will just be doing this for the very first time, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what do you usually get on in your pastime or during your free time?
Wow. Thank you so much for having me here again. As you said, this is home. And so I'm so delighted to be here. Abby is my full name is Abigail Luvisia, and I'm a Kenyan. I'm a Christian, and I am a wife. Married for this year. We should be hitting our 13th year, so I really thank God. And we have 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. That is Bruce, who is now heading to 12, Beverly, who is 11, and Bevin, who is 5, heading to 6, and Benny, who is 2. So I thank God for my family. That
Mm,
actually is like my base of what I do. And
mm,
Abby is also a certified life coach, certified as a coach, but then I specialize as a life coach, and I specialize more on mind matters. I have called myself a mind hacker. I hack
I
minds
love.
because
Mm-hmm.
people are challenged by their minds. I was once challenged, so I decided to to specialize on that. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. In my
Mm-hmm.
pastime, those should be my hobbies, what I do. You know by now that I love exercise. That's number
Yeah.
one. I do that daily, maybe apart from Sundays. I love walking. I follow YouTube and just exercise. In my coaching program, I call them buzz moments. Those moments
Mm-hmm.
that you just enjoy. Time passes and nothing seems, time doesn't seem to stop. So I really enjoy that. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy watching movies on Fridays. That's something I also enjoy. And it's been a while since I did because we have moved from town to town, but getting back very soon. I also love just walking in nature, you
Mm-hmm.
know, gazing at the birds of the air, just looking at nature. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
love water bodies. That sound from a waterfall, for
Yeah.
me, that is just therapeutic. I really, really love it. So I'm bringing swimming on board. Right now, I just play with water, but swimming is something I also love. Yes.
Sorry, I lost you for a second, but I'm back.
Okay, I just ended with saying I'm bringing swimming on board. I play with
Yeah.
water, but I'm learning to be a swimmer. That's
Well
something
done.
I love. Yes.
Well done, Abby.
Thank
Abby, you've just you made like you challenged me so many times, and you amaze me at how you basically lead your life. Like you're quite a busy person, but yet you're just so kind and so gentle. I remember when I was talking to you saying, Abby, I really want to hear a story about the mind and how mindset can actually impact and have an issues to do with so many different things, like even with appetite control
you.
and things like that. And it was like very much of a short notice, and you're like, Claire, yes, let's go for it. And I know for sure, because of all the issues that we've had, maybe some people have been online and they've decided to give up and they thought we're not doing this anymore. But I know there might be people who will be watching
Mhm.
later
Yeah.
on. And I just want us to talk a little bit about the mindset, basically because I
Mhm.
know you are doing this journey, you're on day 4 like myself of this
Yeah.
challenge. And just talk us a little bit about how has your experience so far been with these 3 days that are passed, with now the fourth day.
Yeah, first, thank you for bringing this challenge on because I had been doing it alone, but
Mm,
then missing marks here and there. But then when I
mm,
saw you post it on YouTube and say we are doing this, I thought this is an accountability.
yeah.
Sometimes it's easy to let ourselves down, but now because I
Mm,
don't want to let you down, so
yeah.
I must do it. So the
Mm-hmm,
experience day one was actually easy. I didn't experience any difficulties in day one.
mm,
Two was equally easy, but yesterday, I started feeling some weakness in the joints and all that.
mm,
And
mm,
I had to intentionally stay away from the kitchen. And then
mm,
um, today, I had those serious, hunger pangs, the ones that you just want to eat. And around 1 p.m., I really was hungry. So I had to
mm,
intentionally stay away from the kitchen. So I have found it to be interesting because I want to do it.
mm,
That the fact that I want to do it has made it interesting, but then
mm-hmm,
it's not been smooth all the way. But I am
mm-hmm.
grateful I have made it this far. So I am actually really enjoying it.
Yeah, because I
Yes.
think they usually say the first 2 or 3 days are the most difficult. And then, of course, depending on how you're moving on with which way you're deciding to do your first. And then after some time, it gets to a point you're kind of getting used to it and it just becomes like a walk through the park, really. And hopefully that will get to become your story the next time we're doing this, because we're doing more than just one talk. We might do another one next week, at least once a week, to keep us in momentum as we go along. So as you're talking about this, I just was thinking about mindset readers, thinking about how you have been able and you demonstrate this so well to be able to overcome your thoughts, to be able to overcome your mind, and to be able to tell yourself, you know what, Abby, you have to do this. Because I can
Mhm.
imagine if you're hungry and you're at home and there is food in the kitchen, the first thing you will do will be like, man, why am I doing this? You just go into the kitchen and grab the food that you want to eat. But how have
Mhm.
you been dealing with that from?
Sorry, I lost you for a moment. You are
Mhm.
asking how I have been handling it with a mindset.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so first of all, I know my why. I know why I have joined the challenge. I
Mm,
didn't just join the challenge because NutriFood and Health posted the challenge. So
mm,
knowing my why is helping me. And I
mm,
joined it for two reasons. I felt I needed, I have been working out, but I feel like my weight loss is plateauing, like
mm.
something, especially around the waist,
Yeah.
inches are not changing. So I thought this could help me burn some fats.
Mm,
And then I also want to have a clearer skin. I
yeah.
noticed some on my skin, so I thought this would really help. So I
Mm,
come in and I want to do more of fruit salads and vegetables. So
yeah.
that determination. So when I go to maybe the fridge and I open and I want to get the bread, because I'm one person who loves sweet. I know we are twins
Mm,
in that. But when I want to get it, I'm asking myself, so how is this contributing to your goal? How
mm,
is this working on your belly? How is this working on your skin? So I
mm,
just put it back and walk away.
mm,
And so, secondly, the determination. I am determined to do this. And
mm.
I would say also being accountable, because
Yeah.
now I feel that you could actually come in and ask me, Abby, how was your day 5? And I wouldn't be able to lie that
Yeah.
I did it if I didn't do it.
Mm,
So those are really helping me. And then again, staying away from the triggers, like
mm,
staying away from things that I know I really love. I'm staying away from bread. I'm staying away from, uh, soft drinks and all that. I'm just
mm,
keeping them away. I want to surround myself with foods that are interesting. And then I'm
mm.
telling now, coming to the mind, I am telling myself every morning that my intention today is to eat healthy,
Yeah.
and I am on an intermittent fasting challenge, so this
Mm-hmm.
must happen. So when I
Yeah.
set that intention in the morning, my mind is kind of commanded, so it becomes
Mm.
easier during the day. I think that has really helped me.
Wow. That's really
Yeah.
breaking it down so nicely, isn't it? Because that's why I usually say that it's really nice to have an accountability partner, somebody that you can account to and say, like, hang on a minute, Abby, today I'm struggling. And maybe, just as you're saying, maybe you think, like, Claire will be asking. Of course, I'm not a prefect or a head teacher that will say, why did you not first, and give you a spank or
No,
something? No.
it's just a statement to keep myself going. Something I just
Absolutely.
tell myself, yes,
Absolutely. And
yeah.
and you know, for me also a similar thing happened at the beginning, because I was like, why am I doing this? Maybe there's nobody else who's doing that. And gladly, it's not just Abby alone, because as I said, I've heard a few other people messaging me and saying, Claire, I'm doing the challenge with you. And I remember when I started it, I was like, I'm going to be doing 30 days of fasting by myself. And I really want to address this because I know maybe some people will be put off by the fact that they will be like, let's say, oh, the Bible fast says, do not declare to people when you're fasting, let not you wash yourself, you apply ointment so that it doesn't really show that you're fasting. But this is
Yeah,
not fasting for spirit. It's not a spiritual church kind of a fasting. You can of course use it in a way and decide you're gonna be replacing the time you eat with praying and reading the Bible and things like that. But the goal of this is not to call the church into fasting. So it's not like we are fasting to pray against something, or no. It's kind of more a healthy thing. So you're sacrificing something from your health, from yourself, so that for health reasons. But that doesn't mean that you cannot combine them with spiritual reason. You can pray, you can do whatever. So we're not publicizing to come and say, hey, we are like Pharisees standing in the street saying, look at us, we know how to fast, we know how to go without food. That's not the point of this fast. It's not that we are, when we're doing spiritual fast and doing business with God, that's something that we will not come to YouTube to make it public for sure, because of course we are not leaders of churches. But it's kind of, I just felt when you're saying this to kind of encourage people to say, if you're on the fence thinking like, these guys are hypocrites, why are they coming to declare to us when they're fasting? Yet the Bible says, keep it very secretive and let nobody know, anoint your face. That's not really the point of this. This is just like challenging ourselves as a lifestyle to say, okay, even if I am not eating, I'm doing this more for health reasons. But of course, you can still pray, you can still read your Bible, you can convert it into a spiritual fast. All is all up to you. So now, really, you've talked about this mindset, and that has really encouraged me because, for example, for me, what I've been doing, so that I come back to you to talk a little bit about the relationship with food and the mind and the emotions. For me, what I've been doing, because I just love kind of having targets, so that's why I run. Because when I run, I can run 5 kilometers and I'll record I've ran 5 kilometers. It's an accomplished thing. If I do, for example, exercise that I can't see how many kilometers I've run, how many calories I've burned, I usually feel a little bit like demotivated. So I'm motivated with results. So, like for me, when I say 30 days, I'm like, I can count day one, day two. And if you realize, I'm taking photos of my runs and kind of in a way posting them, because I'm like, I'm not boasting, but I'm posting this to look back 5 years down the line, 1 year down the line, to see how have I made the progress, not even 5 years, at the end of day 30, to see where I came from and how I've been able to get into this. And one of the things that I've realized I usually love to do quite a lot is kind of tell myself, like, I come to the office a lot, because when I'm in the office, there's no food here unless I bring food with me. So that kind of, in a way, I take out myself away from the food. But also, I'm learning one thing, to kind of break away from that mind and emotional eating. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the relationship between food, the mind, and emotions. How do you deal usually with these things?
I will break it into two.
Yeah.
The first part, and before I say that, let me say another thing that has helped me is hydration. Every time,
Mm,
like that time, I was feeling very hungry. I took a lot of water and it really helped. So somebody
mm,
may be helped with that. So 2.5 liters are down. I intend to take
wow.
maybe one more half liter. So I think that goes in line also with my skin goals, because I
Mm-hmm,
believe by the end I should be having a clearer skin.
mm-hmm,
So back to the mind, I will first talk about the mind and then the emotion. Uh, the mind, as we know, maybe another time we could talk about details of the mind, but the
mm-hmm,
mind is classified into two. The conscious mind. Now, the conscious mind is what is at work here. As you listen to me, your conscious mind is at work.
mm-hmm,
Then there is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is lies somehow is informed. by the conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the subconscious mind keeps storage of information throughout our lives
Mm,
since you are a child to date. And so the habits that and now the subconscious mind loves to keep patterns.
mm,
Everything that you do, it loves to keep as a pattern. So if you're a person, like for you now, the reason you wake up and the first thing you want to do is run is
mm,
because your subconscious mind has taken that as a pattern. If you don't do that, something feels off. So what happens now in relationship to food? The other day I said that the way humans are, and from history, we were gathering food.
yeah.
People were not sure of where food would come from tomorrow. So when you found food, you had to eat a lot for that day.
Mm,
So human history has that. So our naturally we are born with feeling that food is not enough.
mm-hmm.
So like now, how would you explain that, say you're fasting and then somebody brings bread and you can't control yourself, you want to eat the bread, yet after the 30 days you can as well have the bread.
Yeah.
So it's that part of the mind that feels that this food can go away, it's not enough. And
Mm,
then now again, the patterns, it's like the subconscious mind is like a cabinet that
mm-hmm.
has stored files of how you behave towards food. For example, a child who was born in a family where there were many will tend to grow up with the habit of wanting to store more, to eat more, and to keep more. But
Mm,
for a child who was alone, because they never used to fight for food,
yeah.
so this person grows up with a mind that says food will come. It's a
Mm,
natural thing for the
mm,
mind of that person. So most of the time, that is the issue, that the patterns that we have had from the past keep following us. Our minds
yeah.
keep uh, coming, just borrowing from those patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, secondly, your subconscious mind acts like a mother, a protective mother. Your mind works to protect you against harm.
Mm,
So when you tell you, if your mind is used to the pattern of you eating every day, 4 or 5 times a day, and then
mm,
this time you're telling the mind that I'm not going to eat for 18 hours, I'm only going to eat for 6 hours. So your mind
mm,
goes like, why? That's a problem. There's a problem. So you see the way mothers say, don't go there, you fall down,
yeah.
don't jump, don't do this. So your your mind goes like, stop, don't
Yeah.
do that. It will hurt you. So your mind works very hard to protect you from what it perceives as harm.
Mm,
So your mind will perceive fasting as something difficult and something harmful to you. So
mm-hmm.
it will work and command all the parts of your body, command the intestines to ask for food, command your brain to ask for food, everything. So now that's when your hunger, your knees feel like they're knocking against each other. It's all a
Mm,
product of the mind.
mm-hmm.
So that's how our mind now comes in to affect us. It wants to keep you safe. So now it's
Mm,
upon us to either allow ourselves to be under the protection of our minds or to command our minds, sorry, or to command our minds to take a different pattern,
yeah.
because we'll talk about it later, but the when you introduce a new pattern to your brain, that's why day 1, day 2, day 3, maybe to day 10 may be difficult, but
Mm,
later then your brain begins to perceive this as normal. So
yeah.
again, a point where you even don't want the food.
Mm,
So your mind now has perceived it as it's no longer a threat, it's
yeah.
now a normal thing.
Yeah.
So that's how our minds work, and that's why it has to take a lot of determination to overcome that.
Mm,
So Now, coming to emotions, uh, you know, emotions are born from our thoughts,
Yeah.
most likely. It's thoughts, the thinking that we have, the thoughts that we have influence our emotions, how we feel. Then
Mm-hmm.
our emotions now influence our actions.
Yeah.
For example, for somebody who, when they are stressed, they they go to eating as a refuge.
Mm-hmm.
This is a person whose brain has seen, your mind wants to protect you, as I've said, and your mind has the memory, the history that when she eats or when he eats, he feels relieved, he feels good. So your mind automatically tells you, you're feeling sad, go eat.
Yeah.
You're feeling, stressed, go eat. So it begins from our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do to counter that is to manage it from the thought stage. Before your thoughts now get into your emotions to influence them, now
Mm.
you turn around your thoughts and tell your thoughts, I am not doing that.
Yeah.
So once you do that, something changes, and by that pattern of emotional eating uh, actually stops.
Mm.
Yes. So
Wow.
that's what actually happens. Yes.
Wow, that was quite a very
Yeah.
good description, isn't it? It was kind of breaking it down into which is something that happens to lots of us. It happens to so many people that I was
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, I usually think about, like, when I am stressed up. Like yesterday, I was trying to do a stream, it didn't work out. I went home, I was trying to upload stuff, and it didn't work out. And I just remember at some point, my sister was like, I think she had made some popcorns, and I just found myself, I was just eating, and I was like, gosh. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing? You've just had
Mm-hmm.
all these good things. Of course, popcorn is a good snack, but I was just thinking about it and I was like, Claire, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it happens quite a lot. Like when I'm stressed out, I tend to want to reach out for a chocolate. I tend to want to reach out for those so-called comfort foods, which I will
Mm-hmm.
always associate with like good emotions, like good feelings. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or when I was stressed up, I ate a or I feel nice when I eat a good bar of, I know dark chocolate is better, but I love a good bar of, now that I don't really take dairy, if I find some really good bar of like a vegan chocolate or something. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I'm stressed out, I'm thinking about those nice feelings, as you're saying, the subconscious and the conscious mind. I'm thinking about that feeling I had when I had that really nice hazelnut vegan
Mm-hmm.
chocolate. And I'm like, Claire, there's a chocolate over there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to feel nice. I want to feel good. And that's the first thing that
Yes.
I'm reaching out to, which kind of
Yeah.
in a
So
way does.
your mind automatically sends you there because it remembers that feeling. So
Yeah.
it wants to reward you with that beautiful feeling that you had that past time.
Hmm. And so I
Yes.
just wonder, sometimes you can tell yourself not to do that, but what are some of the
Mm-hmm.
or practical steps in which we can actually deal with this battle in the mind against, because of course if the battle for me, I don't want even to go into things like depression, anxiety, and all these kind of things, because there's another ball game to itself. But just
Mm-hmm.
going back into how the relationship that we have with food, like people have found themselves into binge eating, people have found themselves into things like withholding themselves without necessarily going into eating disorders and things like that, which are things again which is having a wrong relationship kind of with food. But what are some of
Mm-hmm.
those practical steps? I'm not saying that it's all about wrong relationship with food that results in
Mm-hmm.
these eating disorders, because there is
Yeah.
all those emotional things. There are sometimes psychological deep underlying issues that will not just be right away like, oh yeah, I'm addicted to chocolate or things like that. What are some of those practical steps that you think somebody can take to break away from these unhealthy relationships?
I would say now it goes to us. Remember, I've said that your subconscious mind has stored files.
Mm.
files that of reference, just like you said, your mind remembers. The last time I was stressed, I got a chocolate and I felt good. The last time I was sad, I got mandazis and felt good. So
Mm.
now we have to change the files and give
Mm.
our minds new reference files. So,
Mm.
how do you do that? One is accept that you have that challenge,
Yeah.
be aware that you have a challenge. I think
Mm.
every solution that you will ever have begins from self awareness,
Yeah.
being aware that I have a challenge, that the chocolate I'm eating is a problem. Like for me now, I can't be in denial that my waist circumference is not what I want. And
Mm.
I know my love for wheat, my love for chapati, mandazi is actually
Mm.
a big contributor to that. So once I do that, I just create my awareness to myself that I have a challenge and stop living in denial.
Yeah.
That is the beginning of my healing or my solution to this.
Mm.
Then the second thing is now be intentional. Just set the intention. One of the things I have learned lately is that when you wake up in the morning, it's
Mm.
important to spare a few minutes and just think, how do I want my day to be like? Like
Mm.
on this intermittent fasting period, I wake up in the morning and I write down, today I'm going to eat healthy.
Mm.
Today I'm not going to eat something I don't want. I'm only going to eat things that are of benefit to me. Now,
Mm.
what that does, it commands your mind. Your mind is sent. Now, it's not the mind that is commanding you now. You're not a servant to your mind. Let
Mm.
me say that the subconscious mind is also said to be a very faithful servant. Whatever
Wow.
you tell it, it will do.
Mm.
Resistance will be there at first, but with time, you you get to to break out of that resistance. And
Mm-hmm.
then now, after you've been intentional, the other thing, as I said, keep the desired foods around you.
Yeah.
You can't, for example, be walking in a supermarket and visiting, those chocolate and sweets. You will definitely pick one. It will
Absolutely.
take a lot of strength not to pick one. So
Mm.
even in the house, I know it can be a challenge when other people are there, like children. Children don't know about those fasting ideas. My son tells
Mm.
me, "Mom, it's not time for me. I'll fast when I grow up." So it will be challenging, but then you just stay away from them. Try to keep more healthy food so that when you want to eat, you have an option of a banana, you have an option of, a fruit, an apple in the house,
Mm.
because sometimes we find ourselves without them. And so we land onto what is there. So we should actually surround ourselves with the foods that we want to eat, that we really have. Like in this challenge, I decided to make a fruit salad to be in my house all the time so that the moment I'm breaking my fast, that is the first
Mm.
thing I eat. Otherwise, if
Wow.
I don't do that, I will land on bread and something wheat, which I'm trying to break off from.
Yeah.
And then you start small and build up.
Yeah.
Some people, when they want to start anything, they start from a big thing, which again your your mind, which is the protective mother, will say, no, 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 I'm not
Mm.
doing that.
Mm.
For example, I've been following an app on online. It's called the Better Me app.
Mm.
It gives the options of intermittent fasting.
Mm.
The 18/6, which we are doing. Then
Mm-hmm.
there is the 16/8.
Yeah.
uh, there is the 13/11, and then the 24, as in you
Mm.
eat 20 hours and you
You
fast
fast.
20
Yeah.
hours
Mm-hmm.
and eat for 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you are a starter, you can't start with the 20 hours fasting and four. You
Mm.
will not, it will be very hard for you to go far. And the day you stop, you will actually revenge. You will come
Yeah.
back and pay yourself
Yeah.
for hurting yourself. Your mind will say you have hurt yourself. So do something. Just
Yeah.
reward yourself, and the reward will be negative. So
Yeah.
for starters who might be wondering, on this challenge, we have said it's the 18-6. I think
Mm.
they can feel comfortable, or they can actually do maybe the 13-11, because
Mm.
some of the hours you are sleeping. So just telling yourself, I will not have a meal late night, that will really
Mm.
help. So start
Mm.
small and build up. Don't climb the mountain from up, climb it from down. That will really
Mm.
help. And
Mm.
then your thoughts. What do you flood your mind with? What you flood your mind with is very important. If you keep
Mm.
thinking about the food, you will be distracted.
Yeah.
In one of your live streams, you have said that this period is important because it helps you to focus, and I can
Mm.
also say that that is working for me, because that hour that I spend in the kitchen in the morning, now I am not doing that. I go
Mm.
directly to my work.
Mm.
So what we think, we have to be careful of what we think, and we are masters of our thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, I could not help but think these thoughts. No, you are actually a master of your thoughts. So what
Mm-hmm.
you think is very important. Think about the foods that you want. Think about the body that you want. Think
Mm.
about your why, the reason you are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then finally, take advantage of challenges like these ones.
Yeah.
Because for me, I would say I have been part of several challenges. One was an emotional detox. Just the other day, I
Mm.
was doing a millionaire mindset detox. Now, here I am on the intermittent fasting. Why a
Mm.
challenge? Because a challenge is a challenge. You know, that word challenge is meant to challenge something
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
you that has been there for years. Like when I
Mm.
do the millionaire mindset, it was a challenge that was helping us to overcome our fears about money and all that.
Mm.
When you
Mm.
do an emotional detox, and it also helps you on the emotional side. Now, this one helps you to break those patterns, the eating habit.
Mm.
So by the time you're done, because it takes 21 days to build new habits. So by the
Mm.
time we are on day 30, our habits will have aligned to
Yeah.
what we want.
Yeah.
So taking advantage of such opportunities is very important.
Yeah, and absolutely. Because I was
Mhm.
thinking about this and saying, like, some people can say, why are you keeping this to yourself? Or why the other thing? But as you're saying, at the end of the day, if I wasn't doing challenges, honestly, I wouldn't
Mhm.
be able to
Mhm.
be doing much of the things that I'm doing, because I'll be like, you know what,
Yes.
I can just,
Mhm.
but because when you're doing a challenge, you're finding yourself more committed to it. Like my alarm
Yes.
goes, I'm
Yes.
like, I need to be running. Something happens and I'm like, I need to be doing the other thing. So it does give you quite a lot of discipline. And you mentioned something that I wanted to actually address for a few days and I've been forgetting. Like there are apps out there, and those apps can help you if you're struggling to know
Yeah.
when to eat, when to stop, when to start, and things like that. I personally don't. I only love free stuff. Like I'm a
Mhm.
free woman. If you get me something that doesn't cost me a penny, I love it. But
Mhm.
again, it's nice to invest if you have to invest,
Yeah.
because obviously you're not eating the money that you'll have bought the food with. You can invest in a good app that can help you if you have to pay for it, for sure. That's a good thing to do
Mhm.
it. Also, I was thinking as you're talking, somebody can think and say, Abby, because you live a better life than mine, there's economical issues around, there's economic crunch, and the money is so limited. How will I think between buying food for the rest of the family versus fruits and vegetables, which is something that I need for this challenge. I just want to encourage somebody, if you're thinking there, you're sitting on the fence and thinking, I can't join a challenge because it's so sophisticated, it's so complicated. Eating healthy
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be complicated. Eating
Yeah.
healthy doesn't have to be like very expensive. You don't need to go and
Mm-hmm.
rob a bank to be able to eat healthy. You can
Yeah.
utilize nature to grow some fruits and vegetables in your garden and things like that. But if you
Yeah.
cannot be able to do that, if you live in a place where, for example, they are like open markets or markets and village markets, you can go and buy foods from the markets. They tend to be much more cheaper than buying things that you buy off the supermarkets and things like that. Also, like in some places like in the UK, there are offers. You go to the supermarkets at given point, you find reduced offers because they don't want things to go. I was in a local supermarket yesterday, and I loved what they called those foods that will naturally go into the bin, but they're calling them too good to be wasted. So you can actually go and buy at a discounted price, and it doesn't mean that as long as it's best before date, you can still eat them, and they will not be kind of, the quality might be reduced, but it doesn't mean that there will be any health challenges with them.
Yeah.
The other thing as
Mm-hmm.
well is like, don't be afraid of canned food. Canned food can still be used. Of course, I'm not a great fan of canned meat because of other issues, but if it's just fruits and vegetables, frozen food, they freeze these. Abby knows better than I do this. They freeze food at
Mm-hmm.
their prime production. So they will have like really good nutrients, really good nutritional value, dense in nutrients, and that's what they're frozen. And like in the UK, you find frozen fruits and vegetables are much slightly more cheaper than fresh ones. So if that's something that you can do, or you can as well, like if you can, if you have a little like, even just like they call it a shamba or a little garden, don't be afraid of growing your own
Mm-hmm.
vegetables. It takes just a
Yeah.
couple of weeks and months, and they are out there, and you can eat them year long. Or Abby, is there anything else you'd like to add on that?
I actually, as you spoke, I was just thinking of a quote I read somewhere that it's not really about the money that you have, but what
Mm,
you do with the money.
yes.
Because as somebody may think, I don't have the money for that, these people are talking like this because they have the money,
Mm,
then that mindset makes you defeated. So what
mm,
happens is that you end up using the same money that would have bought a banana, but then the same money buys something like andazi,
mm,
something like biscuits. Like my children would prefer biscuits over an orange,
yeah.
biscuits over a banana. But then
Mm,
I have to keep telling them I buy for them. It's not like I don't, but there are times I
mm,
have to tell them we need to balance this.
yeah.
So it's good to see what when you have the intention, you will actually find the means. But
Mm,
without the intention, the means will not be there. So it's important to just have the intention and just look at what you have as sufficient enough to give you a healthy lifestyle. Yeah.
absolutely. And they
Mm-hmm.
say where there's a will, there'll
Mm-hmm.
always be a
Mm-hmm.
way. So, Abby,
Yes.
so that we
Yeah.
don't make this so long, I know
Mm-hmm.
your little ones are waiting for you. Just some parting shot. I know there are not many people online today because obviously, maybe because of all the issues that we had at the beginning. But you,
Yeah.
any parting shot, any last words? How can people reach you? Anything that you want to add before we bring this to a close? That will be amazing, my dear sister.
Yes, I would say the outcomes we have in life are so much dependent on our minds.
Mm,
My coach used to say, and she still says, mindset is everything.
yeah.
A lot of what we go through in life is because of a mindset that we have. It's
Mm,
either a victor's mindset or a victim's mindset. So it's very important to work on our minds so that this protective mother, who is our
yeah.
subconscious mind, does not control us, but we now begin to command our minds to go to the direction that we want. It's very
Mm,
important. And
mm,
then to change is possible. Somebody should not, I have heard people who say we will be given new bodies in heaven. as a consolation for them not being able to beat their habits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to have. I know I'll have a new body in heaven, if though I think they will not be the same bodies. But then I
Mm,
also want to look beautiful here on earth.
yeah.
I also want to
Yeah.
live healthy. I want to live healthy for myself and also for my family, so that
Yeah.
God willing, I'm able to be there for longer for my children
Yeah.
and my generations. And then
Yeah.
you can do this either by yourself or get professional help,
Yeah.
uh, people who can help you, or people you can partner with who can
Yeah.
just help you, like-minded people who can help you
Yeah.
to walk the journey together. It's very important.
Yeah.
So as I said, it takes 21 days to build a habit. We have 26 days to go. So
Yeah.
join us. If you
Yeah.
can join us, let's do this and see how it goes. Once you do 2, 3 days, you realize it's not as hard. And with
Yeah.
time, as you get to go along, it becomes a lifestyle and it becomes very easy.
Yeah. Absolutely, Abby. Abby, we are going to come back again next week. We'll be more organized. I will ensure I'm staying in a house where there's more stable internet. And I
It's
think
okay.
if you want to just say like how people can reach you, so anybody who's going to be watching this and replaying it will be able to find you, to reach out to you, to subscribe to your channel. And then next week, maybe Thursday or Friday, we'll come back again more organized in a
Mhm.
better way, and just
Yeah.
to reach out to our people and to encourage them as well as we continue with this.
Uh, Before I say how I can be reached, let me say that another thing is be patient with yourself. A
Mm,
habit that has been built for years cannot be broken overnight. So if you're on this fast and on day one you do well, on day two you have bumps here and there, be patient with yourself. Just tell yourself, I can do this tomorrow. Start, start again, and you find yourself making it. So just to know that we can all do this. Tell yourself every day, I can actually do this. Uh, Somebody can reach me on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is, for those who are not in Kenya, +254 781 248 284. Uh, that is +254 781 248 284. And then,
we'll type it
yes,
as well in the comments, so then at least we know
yes.
that
And
it's
then
there.
my
Yeah.
email is abbyscoachinghouse@gmail.com. My YouTube channel,
At
uh,
gmail.com. Mm-hmm.
yes. And then my YouTube channel is Abbys Coaching House. I'm also on Instagram as @Coach Blessed Abby, and on Facebook as Blessed Abby, on TikTok as Abbys Coaching House. So yes, I think just trying be all over all over the internet. Yes. So I really appreciate you having me today. It's been interesting. I love talking about the mind. The mind hacker that I am loves talking about the mind. So
I can feel that.
anyone interested to have their minds done a bit of hacking, you're welcome on board. You,
Yeah, we have another
mhm.
glitch there, but it doesn't matter because we are coming to an end. So,
It's
Abby,
okay.
I am. I'll need you to come back next week so we can do another set, still on the mindset, because the mind is really important. And I want you to
Mhm.
hack my mind. I give it to you free of charge. So, uh, I'm so grateful, Abby. I really appreciate you. I
Mhm.
love you plenty, and I'll let you go for tonight. And for those who will be watching this, if you want to watch it in replay, put it on replay, play it again and again. And as Abby has said, if you're still on the fence, please join. There's still 26 more days. We have 21 days days to establish a new habit, and 5 more days to save on top. So there's still
Mm-hmm.
bonuses on it. And we shall come back again soon with Abby. Until then, my prayer for you is that you prosper and be in good health and look after yourself. And Abby myself shall see you again next week. And tomorrow I'll be online talking about who can and who can't first. But until then, I shall see you later. Goodbye, everyone. And Abby, thank you so much. You are amazing. I love
Thank
you so
you. I
much.
love
Bye.
you too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you.